Here with us now, Jamil Jaffer, founder of the National Security Institute at George Mason University and former senior advisor to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Jamil, great to see you again. Good morning.
Thanks for having me on, Hannah.
This massive tech outage is being blamed on a Microsoft system outage. First, explain to me how this happens and what exactly went wrong.
Well, so what happened here was that Microsoft uses a piece of security software called CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike issued an update where they modified a piece of their software. That update caused Microsoft and other systems, Windows systems, to crash. That led to a cascading series of outages across the Microsoft Azure platform. And so companies that rely either on CrowdStrike or Microsoft ended up having significant issues that caused them to be unable to serve their customers.
We should mention CrowdStrike immediately put out that, hey, this is not a security or cyber incident. But does this outage indicate any signs of weakness within the systems and security that's currently in place?
Well, I think what it demonstrates, Hannah, is the reliance that a lot of major companies have on the Microsoft platform in the first instance, and also on the CrowdStrike platform, and the reliance that Microsoft itself has on CrowdStrike. And so what you see here is one of these classic supply chain issues where you might not rely directly on provider A or provider B that has a problem, but because there's somewhere in your supply chain, you end up having challenges and unable to serve your customers. And that's what makes it so important that all these companies work together individually with companies and then with one another to really secure the larger global system.
But Jamil, I think what makes that so concerning is because we're hearing so much more about cybersecurity failures, from the AT&T data breach, cyber attacks on car dealerships. Do you believe these types of incidents are increasing, especially with all of us pretty much tangled within companies like Microsoft?
Well, there's no doubt that if this were a hack, that we should be significantly concerned about it, because if these were, attackers, nation-state attackers of the like, they can cause significant outages. What it shows is this was a mistake, an error that happened in their production process, which they do, dozens of times a day, thousands of times a year, update these systems. But what it does demonstrate, I think you're right, Hannah, is the vulnerability that we have. That's why it's so important to bake trust, safety, and security into your systems, have resiliency, understand your supply chain and vulnerabilities. And I'm an investor at a venture capital firm, Paladin Capital. We spend a lot of time investing in cybersecurity companies to help make sure that you're able to identify those challenges and solve for them as a company.
Absolutely crucial at this point in time. I want to switch gears here. I want to get your expertise here, Jamil, on another story making headlines. We're going to head overseas, where Yemen's Houthi rebels claimed responsibility for a drone strike on Friday. It happened in Tel Aviv. It killed one person, 10 are injured. Do you believe Israel is going to respond?
Well, I think it's hard to see how they don't respond. The challenge here, of course, is that we've seen the behavior of the Yemeni Houthi rebels that are backed by Iran conducting these strikes on American and allied shipping throughout the Red Sea. This has been going on for months now, causing a paralyzation of traffic in that region. Now you're seeing direct strikes against Israel. They've tried before. These drones have been shut down and shot down before, but this continues to be a challenge. I think you could expect, as you've seen with American, aircraft carriers and the like in the region responding to Houthi rebels, I think you're likely to see an Israeli response as well.
What might this mean for the Israel-Hamas war? Because a lot of us have been waiting for that ceasefire news that they're apparently working on.
Well, I think everyone's hopeful that we can find a solution to the current crisis, one that involves Hamas ultimately being disempowered, that brings peace to the region, and brings security to Israel. The challenge, of course, is that you've got the Yemeni Houthi rebels also backed by Iran. Iran provides money to Hamas and is a direct backer in a lot of ways, both supplies, weapons, and money to the Houthi rebels. They're now engaging in this. And of course, then in the north, you have Hezbollah, another Iran-funded group. And so what you see, the commonality, Hannah, here is Iran, its revolutionary government. That is really the problem in the region. Until they're brought under control, you'll continue to see these problems, not just for Israel, but American allies and others in the region as well.
Your context is invaluable. Jamil, thank you so much for coming on. We hope to see you soon. We appreciate it.